Imagine if a scientist showed up today with a brand new substance. It causes severe chemical dependency, is linked to over 200 diseases, is the leading factor in traffic accidents and domestic violence, and in high doses can kill you in a single night. If this substance were presented to the FDA or any regulatory agency today, it would be banned instantly. But this substance already exists. It's sold on every corner, and you probably have a bottle of it in your kitchen right now. We are talking about alcohol. Why does the modern world, so focused on health and safety, allow the statistically most destructive drug in human history to be legalized, celebrated in commercials, and sold freely? The answer isn't just about individual freedom. It's about a brutal historical lesson we learned the hard way. Our relationship with alcohol began long before breweries ever existed. There's a theory called the Drunken Monkey Hypothesis. About 10 million years ago, our ancestors developed a genetic mutation in the ADH4 gene, which allowed us to metabolize ethanol. Why? Because fruit that fell from trees would naturally ferment. Those who could eat this fruit without getting sick had an extra source of energy. The smell of alcohol was a signal for free food. Alcohol is in our DNA. It helped our ancestors survive, and later, with the invention of agriculture, beer and wine became safer to drink than the contaminated water of ancient cities. We don't just like alcohol, we evolved with it. The simplest reason why alcohol isn't banned today is because we already tried, and it was an absolute disaster. In 1920, the United States began Prohibition, also known as the Noble Experiment. The goal was to end crime, poverty, and violence. But the result was the exact opposite. Rise of organized crime. Since the demand for alcohol remained high, the market shifted from legitimate businesses to gangsters like Al Capone. The Mafia was literally funded by illegal alcohol, moonshine, and danger. Without regulation, people drank moonshine, home-distilled alcohol that was incredibly dangerous. Thousands went blind or died from methanol poisoning. Corruption. The money from illegal alcohol was so massive that police officers, judges, and politicians were being bought daily. The biggest lesson from Prohibition was you cannot ban something that has massive demand. You only remove government control and hand it over to criminals. There's a less noble and more pragmatic reason: revenue. Before Prohibition, alcohol taxes accounted for about 30% to 40% of all US federal government revenue. When alcohol was banned, the government lost billions. This coincided with the Great Depression. The government was broke, and people needed jobs. In 1933, Prohibition was repealed primarily to create jobs in agriculture and industry, and so the state could collect what we call a sin tax. Today, the alcohol industry moves trillions of dollars globally. Banning it would cause an economic collapse in sectors ranging from barley farming to advertising and tourism. For governments, it is more profitable to treat alcohol-related diseases using tax money than to give up that revenue entirely. Finally, alcohol is what sociologists call a social lubricant. It reduces social anxiety, facilitates conversation, and has been rooted in human rituals for 5,000 years. From church communion to wedding toasts, alcohol is the social glue of our culture. Banning alcohol wouldn't just be banning a drink, it would be an attempt to remove a pillar of Western civilization. Unlike other drugs often seen as marginal, alcohol is the drug of the elite, the politicians, and the common worker alike. We learned that it is better to have alcohol in the light of day, regulated, taxed, and controlled, than to leave it in the shadows, where it fuels crime and death without any oversight. Alcohol is legal not because it is safe, but because society has accepted it as a necessary evil that we are biologically unable to abandon. This was a simple explanation for one of the most complex issues in our society. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to Simple Things.